Hey, are you looking for lakefront property in Kansas City for under $1 million? Well, some people would say that's impossible, but today Max and I are going to show you this beautiful new construction two-story, 5,000 square feet. We've got 3,500 finished upstairs and 1,500 of a blank canvas in the basement, ready for your personal touch. Before we go in there, while we're standing outside, I just want to talk a little bit about this lake community because it has a lot to offer. We've got this nice kind of quaint street. What's really cool about houses at Lake Wacomas is there are no two houses the same out here. This is a neighborhood of 425 houses. It's actually its own city, which if you're familiar with Kansas City, this gets you out of the Kansas City earnings tax. So you're already going to save that 1% on your income, which is huge. But just on the other side of the street is the South Shore Park, one of the two parks at Lake Wacomas. This park features, we've got walking trails, we've got baseball fields, we've got tennis courts, pickleball courts. There's even a little stage for concerts and then a covered pavilion for barbecues and picnics and things like that. Nice, with a nice little walking trail around it all. So really cool out there. And then the lake itself has a nice, even the streets just walking around Lake Wacomas. It's basically a 5K, so you kind of have a 5K track built into the neighborhood. But
cool. How much is the monthly HOA?
HOA out here is not bad. It kind of depends on house by house because it's all based on either road frontage or lake frontage, but on average it's $350 to $400 a year.
Oh, a year. Holy cow. That's a steal.
Yeah, and that includes maintaining all those parks and things I just talked about. Plus they have their own snow shoveling crew that takes care of the whole community. So they do the streets. We have our streets are very well taken care of all there.
No, it's its own city, right?
It's its own city, yeah. Lake Wacomas.
Lake Wacomas, all right.
So let's go in. This is really unique. So at Lake Wacomas, there's not any lots left, right? So in order to get new construction, you've got to bulldoze a house at this point. This neighborhood was established back in 1947, so there's houses anywhere from 75 years old all the way up till, to new, but super rare. These don't pop up very often at all, so I'm super excited to take you in and show you what it has to offer. It's super cool.
Let's have a look.
And we do have we have a hidden room. We have a couple secret passageways, which I'm really excited to show off. I love a house with a little bit of personality and some flair.
And anytime you can pull up on the golf cart, that's
that's pretty sweet.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, this community is super golf cart friendly. In fact, there'll be parades out here. I don't know, you'll see 100 golf carts at a time in some of these events, but in through the front door, we've got these, you can see these kind of oak style vinyl planks, which I think Max, you said you had these in your house, right?
Yeah, I do have this. These are actually engineered hardwood, but then I have vinyl in the basement.
Okay.
That matches. They look very similar, but yeah, it carries through the whole house, which is really nice. And it wears like iron. I have a golden retriever and it can take a beating.
Yeah. Some of the perks right out of the way, we got this kind of nice grand entryway, and they did we've got a nice curved sheetrock entrance here, which is really cool. And that takes us right on into the main living area. Now with new construction, there is going to be some options. There's over here in the corner, we have space for a wet bar if you wanted to install that. You still get to pick out your fireplace. So there's a few things that you can do to customize this for yours. But look at this, look at lake out every window. The really cool thing about living on the water is the view is always changing. So you buy expensive artwork, you hang it on the wall and you stare at it, it's always the same. But here, your artwork is the ever-changing lake view. And this has 180 degrees of it. They've done the composite decking out here. So you've got the maintenance-free decking. You've got the aluminum railings. So again, no maintenance out here. We've got the hardy back siding. Yeah, and this is your view, unfortunately. To wake up every day. And
yeah, I love how they saved this tree. This tree's got to be over 100 years old.
Super cool tree. You have a little swing hanging off of it.
Kind of like being in a tree house up here. Has the black Anderson windows. Really nice.
Yep. Hear the birds chirping.
How about that fridge?
Yeah, look at that. We've got a commercial side-by-side fridge and freezer. When you're at the lake, when you have a house like this at the lake, you're going to be doing a lot of entertaining. So lots of rooms for beverages and food to feed an army. We've got a nice big island out here in the middle. Soft closed drawers everywhere. You got a pot filler behind the stove.
Gas range.
These are kind of a cool feature too with the plugs, the GFCIs that pop out of the counter. You can stow those away if you don't need them. And a nice large pantry that goes way up there, way beyond reach. And I do want to point out too that they've added this Costco door that's in from the garage. So you'll be able to pass your groceries right into here so you're not tromping through your house. Kids have no excuses now to put the groceries. Now it's fun to bring the groceries in from the car. And then lots of
First time.
yeah, for the first time. Soft close drawers. We've got some open shelves here, lots of storage underneath, big storage underneath that stove for your big pots and pans.
I like how the island has an accented paint color from the regular cabinets.
Yeah,
Kind of play off one another.
that is nice. And it even has a little bit of a 3D, these countertops have a little texture.
Is it a quartz or a granite?
I think this is quartz, and I think we've got granite on the back here. And I will point out this right here. So at Lake Wacomas, if you're going to build new construction, you have to tear down the house. So this is a photo from the original house before they bulldozed it.
Big difference.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, most of the houses out here were built when in the 60s, 70s.
60s, 70s, yeah. It's, Lake Wacomas started off at a lot of like fishing cabins back in like 47. And then as time went on, you know, people just kept building bigger and bigger houses, and it gets to the point to where there's tear downs and rebuilds. But this is kind of your main living room area. You kind of got a nice space over there for a dining room, plenty of wall space for a hutch or a cabinet on the back side. And then again, that wet bar that we pointed out.
Man, the view out the back is just all water.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah, even like coming through the front door, when you're standing at the front door knocking on it, looking through, you just see right through the house and see nothing but lake. I guess while we're on this level too, we'll take you in through the, we got a nice large mudroom.
Yeah, big old mudroom.
If it was me, I'd probably have like a bench. You know, you still got plenty of customization you could do in here because you've got all this space, but a great space for the kids to hang up their backpacks, sit down, kick off their shoes. And you got a nice door on it too, so you can close it off. So if you're having guests over, you can keep all the clutter out in this area. And then just a nice big garage. I will point out the garage, we've got really high ceilings. So this would be a great spot for extra storage space if you want to hang some of the storage racks from the ceiling. And then of course, enough space for a couple cars and a golf cart.
Show me upstairs. I want to see the bedroom.
All right, let's go check out the bedrooms.
I really like the craftsman style finishes and stuff.
Yeah, and these steps are extra wide too. I love this window that they put in just to light up the staircase. All right, let's start it with the secondary bedrooms. We have a little space over to the left here that could be, it could be a guest bedroom. There's not a closet in there. It could be an office. It could be like a little craft room, but that's a nice natural light. In here we have 2 bedrooms that share a bathroom, a Jack and Jill. And then this one has some nice, really detailed ceilings and a vault in here. So I really like this room. And then a nice, cool little closet over there with a window in it that opens, so you can get a nice cross ventilation going through here. I will say, you know, sleeping out here at night on the lake when you've got the cool breeze coming off the lake, opening the windows, it's very nice.
Really big wide hall here.
Yeah.
Nice laundry.
We got laundry right on the main, a nice big laundry room, and where there's a couple of hidden features in there. So I'll come right back to that after the master and show that off. Another secondary bedroom right here with a really nice full bath, walk-in shower. Great tile job in there. Lots of light. And then again, we're up in the trees. This bedroom has that lake view as well as the primary suite that we're gonna go to next. So unfortunately, you have to wake up and just look at this view again. It's cool.
Pocket door.
Yep, pocket doors. Still putting a few finishing touches on it. Okay, the primary suite, we've got vaulted ceilings, a ceiling fan, of course the martini deck. So a lot of people these days will put like a little coffee station in their primary bedroom. So this will allow you to get coffee or that martini. You know, you can put a little wet bar up here too, and come out here,
Smoke a little cigar.
smoke your cigar, have your martini.
Yeah, this is cool.
Talk about the weather.
On private dock.
Yes, private dock, private seawall. Not too bad. I'm speechless. Doesn't happen often. Primary bathroom, ensuite.
Wow, nice freestanding tub, walk-in shower.
Yep, you got dual heads. You got the wand in there, so you can go crazy.
Wand and the rain.
Yeah. 2 vanities, commode in the corner, and then a nice large walk-in closet. They don't have any of the racks in yet, which is kind of cool because you can design it however you personally want to hang up your stuff. My wife would be writing "wife" on that wall, wife, you know, and maybe get this little quarter.
Yeah, my closet would be over in the
I like this light.
secondary bathroom.
Got a treat for you now. I want to show you a little secret space.
All right.
The builder did on this
I
property.
always wanted a secret passageway.
Yeah. The vision for this is to have, there's actually two things that I want to show you. First thing is we have a finished attic space.
Okay.
This was designed, this was going to be a kid's area, kind of a kid play area. So there's
There be like a ladder here on the wall or something?
yeah, I think the vision was more like some big box steps that you can climb up and then have storage under the steps, kind of like a built-in,
Oh, wow.
maybe like 2-foot steps, 3-foot steps. But the attic's completely finished, painted. It's got the engineered hardwood floors.
Yeah, same hardwood floors up here.
And then there's a cool little round window over in the corner that's kind of reminds me of like a ship portal that looks down to the lake. Cool little spot. So yeah, Max is standing straight up and down in here. Lots of headroom. You know, could be storage, but I think you just got to keep this for the kids. All right, and then at the opposite end from the attic space, we have, this was designed for a fireman pole. I've always, since I was a little kid, wanted a house with a fireman pole. This house is set for it. So this goes down to a closet in the living room currently. So when we go back downstairs on our way back down, we'll peek into that. But so we've got this shaft. That's why this is here, because right now it just looks like a dark shaft that you would could accidentally step off of and die. But super cool. This could also be, if you want to be more practical, an elevator that could take you down all 3 levels. You've got the space on the interior of the house. It can be pretty much whatever you want.
So the kids could, when they get ready for school, hop on the pole, shoot down, and
shoot down the floor.
Why do that? You know, why would take the stairs when you can take?
I know. Think of all the wear and tear you would save on these steps.
Yeah, and on your knees.
All right, so here is the other end of where the fireman pole would come down. So a few other things you could do. We've talked about too. If you're one of those people that has like super tall Christmas trees, these steps don't have to be here. You could jam your Christmas tree. This could also become storage, but you just have lots of options for, you know, the future if you want to age out here. There's a lot of families now in this market that we see that are commingling, where grandma and grandpa or mom and dad are moving into the house. So what we're about to show you in the basement is basically a blank slate that could be finished for recreation, or if you wanted to make it a separate living quarters, maybe put that elevator in, you could have sustained living on this lower level too.
All right, another wall of windows.
Yeah, another wall of windows. So this kind of mimics the footprint, obviously, above when we're standing in the kitchen. This is plumbed for a bathroom. We're also plumbed to have a full kitchen. You can do it on either side. Got plenty of electricity to pull that off. We've got zoned heating and cooling, so you can control the temperature separately or individually on each level. But yeah, this is an amazing space. This walks right out to the patio, which we should probably step out onto next. Could be whatever you want.
Yeah, it looks like the patio's plumbed for an outdoor kitchen.
Yep, exactly. Yep, good eye, Max. So since it's all unfinished, I will say at the back of the house or underneath the garage, we do have more storage space. So it's completely excavated under the garage. And then there's also under the front stoop is more storage space again. So a lot of people in Kansas and Missouri are nervous about storms and tornadoes. And having that 4 sides of concrete underground is the safest place you could possibly be for something like that.
Yeah, suspended garage and front porch.
Yep.
Yeah, this is great. I love how they did the sides all concrete with the houses on Lake Wacomas being fairly close to one another. It's kind of a pain in the neck to mow and deal with the land between the houses.
Yeah, and a lot of times, you know, when you're out at the lake, this is a small, tight-knit community where everybody knows everybody. You're gonna make a lot of friends, basically because we all share the same, I live out here, but basically because we all share the same backyard, right? So we're bumping into each other constantly on the boats. But you have access to this deck and you have access to this patio from sidewalks on either side of the house. It's cement all the way down, which is really cool because you're like, hey, come on over, we got a fire pit going. People don't have to tromp through your house and, you know, walk in with dirty shoes. Everybody can just grab their cooler, drive the golf carts over, walk on down to whatever level you're on, or
Bring their boat over.
bring their boat over. Yeah, so you've got a nice little flat yard here. They've got all brand new retaining walls done in the last couple of years.
Like how they did the the wire railing so you can see right through.
Yeah, a lot of people do that at the lake for visibility. So you've got a nice stamp patio there, a nice little yard here that's fenced in.
And the turnbuckle, that's the word I was looking for. Turnbuckles.
Got steps on both sides. This is actually a really impressive retaining wall that they built here. We've got more patio space here. This is kind of a really cool spot. We're under the shade of this big tree. So you can kind of picture yourself down here. The kids are jumping and swimming off the dock. And maybe you don't want to get splashed, so you're being a good parent, keeping an eye on the kids. You've just got a really nice place to hang out.
Yeah, hang out right here.
Yeah, hang out, have a good time. Enjoy a little bit of sunshine, and you're just a few steps from the private dock. At Lake Wacomish, you can have pontoon boats and fishing boats. Most people will elect to maximize the size of their pontoon boat with a 22-foot pontoon. And the maximum horsepower out here is 9.9, so no high speed. That's what's great about being on the main channel. Like some bigger lakes, you want to avoid the main channel because you've got big boats with big horsepower, with big waves. But out here, actually, the main channel is more sought after because you get to see all the action. There's not huge waves, you know, nobody's going faster than 12 miles an hour out here. So nice and relaxing. You can swim off the dock. You don't get beat by waves, and you just got a view of it all.
Nice.
Beautiful sunsets from this side of the lake too, kind of looking to the west. So you'll be seeing storms come in from that direction, and then you just had the kind of, a beautiful sunset hitting you right here where you're having dinner on the deck or hanging out down on your dock.
I noticed this one has a brand new substantial seawall. Is everybody responsible for their own seawall in front of their property?
Yeah, not everybody has a seawall. Some people just have like stones that are kind of like piles of stones, but yeah, you are responsible for your own seawall if you want one. And they elected to put in a doozy of the seawall that's all poured concrete. Some out here you'll see that are stacked stone. You'll see like keystone and different systems, but that one's not going anywhere.
No, that's about as good as you can get.
Yep. And it matches the rest of the house and all the colors and the stamped.
So the view of the house from back here is beautiful.
Yeah. This is the newest house in this entire community. Can't think of anything else that's going to be replacing it anytime soon.
Yeah, if you want a new house, you gotta just knock an old one down, and
pretty rare.
Yeah, you're seeing that a lot out at Weatherby Lake, but maybe not so much at Lake Wacomish.
Yeah, not so much here, but it's happened like every 7 to 10 years. I can think of a few. That house right across there was about 5 or 6 years ago they did that. But a lot of cool events happen out at the lake. Like it's a really tight-knit community. The 4th of July out here is off the hook. It lasts for almost a week. And there's things like the watermelon race where they'll about 100 yards from shore, they'll dump a bunch of watermelons in around the 4th of July. And all the residents line up in canoes and they'll blow a horn and everybody's paddling out there, all the kids, to try to get watermelons. There's parades, there's local farmers markets that are nearby. Speaking of farmers markets, there's a garden behind the dam that's for Lake Wacomish residents. So if you have that green thumb and you like to garden and eat fresh produce, you've got space right there. It's all fenced in so the critters can't get to it.
Homegrown tomatoes.
I know. My dad has a garden space down there, and he just drops it off at my house. So
oh man,
that's the best deal.
You got it made.
That's the best deal. But yeah, it's like $50 a year to rent a plot. So trying to think of some other cool features.
I can't believe the HOAs are only $350 a year. That seems like a steal.
Yeah.
How about the taxes? Are the taxes any higher for like the city tax for your property taxes?
Yeah, not really. I mean, it's pretty comparable with anything else. Usually around 1% of your property value.
Okay. Yeah, that's not bad because Park Hill Schools is in a great school district. So sometimes in a higher, a better school district, the taxes are a little higher.
Yeah, good point. It is in Park Hill, which is A-rated schools. It's very sought after for Kansas City's Northland. It's in one of the top 3 school districts up here. And actually the elementary school is just like right across the street, like a block from the subdivision. So I see kids frequently that are walking to school. So it's kind of cool to have that walkability.
What's the catch, Zach? Because I want to buy this place.
There is no catch. You just have to be quick because I don't know that this is going to make it through the weekend.
Yeah, this won't last. Looks like it needs a little finishing touches here and there.
Yeah.
Like missing a railing on the wall down here and just a couple little things, nothing major, but
no. Now you could definitely move in and start living, and like the master closet still needs some closet systems, and they're still putting in the door, so they're still working on finishing some things. But yeah, you could button up a couple things.
All right.
Make it personalized for you.
Well, thanks for showing it to me. Want to show me the community a little bit, or get?
Yeah, let's go hit some of these amenities up. I wanted to show you the disc golf course, Max, and then maybe we'll hop on the boat real quick and see, because really Lake Wacomas, although you drive around the streets and it's fun and quaint and nice, really all these houses are designed to be seen from the lakeside. So maybe we'll just take a quick cruise, hit a couple shorelines, and show you what Lake Wacomas is all about.
All right, sounds great. Yeah, most of the homes will have the kitchen on the first floor, yeah, in the basement.
There is a good mix of that, yeah.
So here you can kind of have the best of both worlds, out at the patio and in the basement, and then, you know, like a normal house in the main floor.
It started out, so usually you'll see those basement kitchens in houses that people would just use for summer homes. But as Kansas City grew further north and people started calling Lake Wacomas like their permanent home, then you start to see the kitchens move up to the second story. So, you know, all the more recent builds, probably from the 80s on, you'll see the kitchen up, because now that's, you know, where people are living.
Right.
That's what they want. But yeah, still at the Ozarks, you see that all the time too. And some of the older houses here will have that.
Cool.
Definitely a lake thing.
Well, it's been a treat. Thanks for showing me the house. Let's have a look at the subdivision.
Take a spin.
All right.
All right, Max, you want to go check a disc?
Let's do it.
There you go. Let's go.
All right.
Let's go hit our 18-hole disc golf course at Lake Wacomas. And bye-bye.
All right, here we are on the boat.
Yeah.
Lake life.
Yeah, and you know what? Like kind of mentioned earlier, I mean, you hear the birds chirping. It's super peaceful, and unlike Lake of the Ozarks, for instance, where you're just getting rocked and there's always a speedboat cruising by. You will on the weekends see people, but they're your friends, and you end up tying up, and there's a lot of that rafting that goes along. I've been in some, 12 to 20 boat rafts, which is really cool. Kids are running up and down the front, eating out of everybody's cooler. Yeah, seeing who's got the best snacks. And parents are sitting a little further back so they don't get sprayed and soaking wet, having a cocktail. So yeah, it's a really cool, peaceful spot.
Yeah, peaceful is for sure. And you have to go 3 hours away for Lake of the Ozarks. This is right 15 minutes from the airport.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, 15 minutes from the airport. We're 15 minutes from downtown Kansas City, and we're in Kansas City's Northland, so there's not a lot of traffic to deal with going either direction. And as far as proximity to the lake too, I mean, just to be able to walk out of your back door and literally go down a flight of steps and you step onto your pontoon that's just sitting at your dock. There's something to be said for that too.
My boys would love that. They love fishing. How's the pretty good fishing in here?
The fishing's incredible out here. Some of my favorite things to fish, because I like to eat the fish, are crappie and walleye.
Ooh, walleye, really?
Yeah, so we've got walleye. Yeah, they stocked it with walleye, and so we used to catch a few of those a year. They're a little tougher to catch. You got to get pretty serious, but the crappie are fun when they start biting. But we also have trout. They stock it with trout, so you can go out here with the fly rod or with the jig and catch trout if you're into that.
Rainbows?
Yeah, rainbows. Catch a brown trout every once in a while. And then catfish and the sport fish like bass. In fact, every week in the summertime, there is a $5 cash entry bass tournament that happens on Thursday nights. So if you want to get out here and compete a little bit, we've got that going on. And then even just right behind me is the dam that connects North Shore and South Shore. And that in the 4th of July, that's where the watermelon race happens, but they also shoot the fireworks off from that. So we have a $30,000 fireworks display that we do every year. So you can just imagine this entire lake. That's the one time of year where it's busy as hell out here, where there'll be almost every pontoons out here sitting just right before dusk to watch the fireworks show. And it's pretty incredible. Sometimes you get so close, you feel like the ashes are, hitting you from that. It's fun.
Well, no risk of catching anything on fire.
No, not really. Shoot and jump in a lake, right?
Shoot and burn money over water.
Yeah.
Cool. It's a really great view of the houses from the water. It's, you know, not all that impressive driving around on this from the street view, looking at everybody's garage, but when you're out here on the water, you really can see the house.
Yep, that's how they're kind of all designed to be seen. That's where everybody hangs out and spends all their time, so they focus on the backyard versus the front.
How deep is the main channel out here?
It gets about 60 feet, 55, 60 feet.
Okay, it's probably some big catfish down there. Right?
Plenty of depth, yeah. Keeps the fish all winter. In fact, even in the winter time, it'll usually freeze over enough a couple weeks for be out ice skating and playing hockey and stuff with the kids. So
cool.
A little bit of that happens here in Kansas City as well. But it is rare, especially for a home like the one we just toured, to pop up out here. As you can see, just looking around, there's not a lot of brand new construction. When they pop up, they go fast. So a lot of people that are trying to get to the lake, sometimes they'll hop on second tier first because it's a lot cheaper just to get a foot in the door, so you can start to at least enjoy the lifestyle. Second tier people still get docks as well. And then as time goes on, they start meeting some people, get a little more connected, and come up with a plan to find their next first tier lake house. That's when we help them jump across the street.
To get a lakefront property, it's kind of a lot of word of mouth, and you're very plugged in out here. So sometimes I presume sometimes they don't even hit the market.
Yeah, oftentimes not.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's more about who you know than what you know.
Exactly.
Cool. Maybe we could cruise over and look at that house for sale from the water.
Yeah, let's do that. Hey, as you can see, 1091 offers a rare opportunity for new construction, a lakefront property with your own private dock, just steps away from a boat ride. Hey, and if you're looking for properties on a lake, or maybe even at Lake Wacomas, make sure you reach out. You can text, give us a call, even subscribe to this channel. And if you're looking for other hidden communities like this that most residents of Kansas City don't even know about, then definitely make sure you subscribe and check us out over here in our next video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on that one.